The wait is finally over. NASA has ultimately unveiled their most coveted telescope's first scientific images, and they are beyond this world, literally and figuratively. From galaxies far away to the birth and death of stars, these images have so much within them that it's pretty hard to explain it in brief, but we'll try our best. NASA began its proceedings by discussing the image it released a day before the event. The section was dubbed Deep Field, and it is said to be the deepest, most detailed infrared view of the universe to date, containing the light from galaxies that have taken many billions of years to reach us. The image depicts a massive group of galaxy clusters that magnify the objects behind them, somewhat like a magnifying glass, that's termed gravitational lensing. This will create Webb's first deep field view of incredibly old and distant faint galaxies, pushing our knowledge further of the universe as it formed. The image goes by the name of SMACS 0723, and I sometimes wonder who in the world is naming NASA's discoveries. Anyway, the image depicts a patch of sky visible from the southern hemisphere on Earth and is often visited by Hubble and other telescopes in search of the deep past, but have never managed to reach this clarity. It includes a massive cluster of galaxies about 4 billion light-years away that astronomers use as a kind of cosmic telescope. The cluster's enormous gravitational field acts as a lens, warping and magnifying the light from galaxies behind it that would otherwise be too faint and far away to see. Thomas ZURBUCHEN, NASA's Associate Administrator for Space Science, described this image as the deepest view yet into the past of our cosmos. Marcia Reiki of the University of Arizona, who led the building of NIRCam, one of the cameras on the Webb telescope that took the picture, said, "This image will not hold the deepest record for long, but clearly shows the power of this telescope." Next up, NASA released Webb's first spectrum of exoplanets. Webb's study of the giant gas planet WASP-96b is the most detailed spectrum of an exoplanet to date, and includes different wavelengths of light that can reveal new information about the planet. Although it was discovered back in 2014, we had several unanswered questions about WASP-96b, and we're inching closer to answering them. The exoplanet is located 1,150 light-years from Earth and has half the mass of Jupiter, while it completes an orbit around its star every 3.4 days. You'll always wonder how fast the years went by on this planet. Anyway, Webb's spectrum includes the distant signature of water along with evidence for clouds and haze in the atmosphere surrounding a hot, puffy gas giant planet orbiting a distant sun-like star, according to NASA. Nicole Colon, a NASA astrophysicist, said, "The spectrum looks like a bunch of bumps and wiggles which are full of information." A pretty neat way of putting it. She continued saying, "You're actually seeing bumps and wiggles that indicate the presence of water vapor in the atmosphere of this exoplanet. This is a huge discovery, but you must be wondering, this is not a pretty picture, it's just a bunch of lines." Well, that's what a spectrum is, and about half of what Webb will do is spectroscopy. This basically means splitting light into its component colors to reveal something about a target's properties are of, like what it's made of, how fast it's moving, and how hot it is, among several other questions. Webb can identify with stunning precision the molecules in the exoplanet's atmosphere. You see a clear marker for water vapor, but don't get too excited. WASP-96b is not the right kind of planet to host life. It's too close and too hot to its parent star for that. But Webb will be looking for planets that have atmospheres similar to Earth. When that happens, we'll be asking, could those planets be habitable? This spectrum is the most detailed of its kind to date, demonstrating Webb's unprecedented ability to analyze atmospheres hundreds of light-years away. The next picture NASA released from the Webb was of the Southern Ring. You've probably seen versions of this one on an HD display art website. The Southern Ring, or 8-burst nebula, is a giant expanding sphere of gas and dust that's been lit up by a dying star in the center. So here's a quick reminder of what a nebula is, and as much as you'd want it to be Nebula from the Guardians of the Galaxy, it isn't. A nebula is, in common language, a distinct body of interstellar clouds. So, as stars age, they change the way they make energy and eject their outer layers. Then, when the star gets very hot again, it energizes all that material it had previously spurned. The Southern Ring is nearly half a light-year in diameter and is located about 2,000 light-years from Earth. This type of structure is called a planetary nebula, but it actually has nothing to do with planets, which is really interesting. So, as the story goes, it's actually a misnomer from the early days of telescopes when they didn't have anything like the incredible resolution we have today. Just as Webb wants to see how stars are born, it wants to see how they die also. The new details from Webb will transform our understanding of how stars evolve and influence their environments, according to NASA. So, what exactly can we see in the Southern Ring? Well, the image of the Southern Ring shows a planetary nebula that's caused by a dying star that dispelled a large fraction of its mass in excessive waves, which NASA says can be seen in the images. The image shows a bubbly, foamy appearance with some very structured shells, and the orange foam is due to the molecular hydrogen which formed in the expansion, lighting up the gas and dust of the nebula. The blue haze closer to the center of the image is due to the hot ionized gas that is heated by the very hot leftover core of the star. The rays in the outer regions are holes in the inner nebula which are letting the central star's light come out, giving the appearance of patchy clouds with the sun shining through. It's just surreal to be able to see this image with so much depth. Up next on the event was Webb's picture of STEPHAN'S quintet. About 290 million light-years away, STEPHAN'S quintet is located in the constellation PEGASUS. This visual grouping of 5 galaxies is notable for being the first compact galaxy group ever discovered. According to NASA, the image is Webb's largest image to date, covering about 1/5 of the Moon's diameter. It contains over 150 million pixels and is constructed from almost 1,000 separate image files. The information from Webb provides new insights into how galactic interactions may have driven galaxy evolution in the early universe. The Space Telescope's view of STEPHAN'S quintet reveals the way galaxies interact with one another and how their interactions might shape galactic evolution. 4 of the 5 galaxies within the quintet are locked in a cosmic dance of repeated close encounters. I absolutely loved that phrase. This Webb telescope image doesn't look that different from the Hubble telescope version at first glance, but the new telescope's infrared sensitivity will pull out different features for astronomers to study, and this was a great hope that we would have Webb working alongside Hubble. They have different strengths, and being able to compare and contrast will give scientists a new dimension to their studies. We don't know for how much longer Hubble will operate. It's 32 years old and prone to technical glitches. But the officials at NASA who are in charge of the old warhorse have just submitted a 5-year budget plan. Mark McCarrian, the senior advisor for science and exploration at the European Space Agency, said, "The image shows the view from our own Milky Way to faraway galaxies, even showing the creation of new stars." When the near-infrared view is stripped away from the image, mostly gas and dust are seen. But it revealed an active black hole, according to ESA astronomer Giovanna Giardino, who said, "We cannot see the black hole itself, but we see the material swirling around being swallowed. Gas gets heated to extremely high temperatures as it folds and becomes very bright, 40 billion times the luminosity of our Sun. The last one from the event was Webb's image of the birth of a star. Located 7,600 light-years away, the CARINA Nebula is literally a stellar nursery where stars are born. It is one of the largest and brightest nebulae in the sky and home to many stars much more massive than our Sun. The cosmic cliffs are seen in the stunning new image that reveals previously hidden baby stars, which provides a rare peek into stars in their earliest rapid stages of formation, according to NASA. The image shows CARINA Nebula with stunning vistas and cosmic cliffs, and I gotta tell you, it is just incredible to look at. Amber Straughn, Webb's deputy project scientist, describes the last image to be revealed, saying it's a stunning vista of the cosmic cliffs of the CARINA Nebula that reveals new details about this vast stellar nursery. Today, for the first time, we're seeing brand new stars that were previously completely hidden from our view. We see examples of bubbles and cavities and jets that are being blown out by these newborn stars, and even some galaxies lurking. We see some examples of structures that we don't even know what they are. The data is so rich. The CARINA Nebula was a classic target of the Hubble telescope, but Webb's version is a very different reading. Here, we don't only see the stars, our eyes are drawn to all that gas and dust. Astronomers refer to this as a cosmic reef, a kind of broad demarcation between dust in the bottom half and then gas in the top half. One of Webb's key scientific goals is to study how stars form, and CARINA is an excellent place to do that. These first images from the James Webb Space Telescope are a testament to how far we've come as a space-loving community. Each of the tiny bursts of light are galaxies containing trillions of stars. The sheer amount of information each image contains is just mind-blowing. But these images come from only a few days of observations, and so far, the telescope's only looked at a minute fraction of the sky. So don't worry about getting more, because Webb will be capturing the cosmos for the next 20 years. There's a long list of discoveries that astronomers are hoping to tick off, from seeing the first stars to finding habitable planets beyond our solar system. But what's more exciting are the discoveries that we haven't even thought of yet. So, what do you think of Webb's first images? And what do you think the Webb will find next? Let us know in the comments below, and like always, thanks for watching Space Rumor.